When you listen, you know exactly the program issues of today is about to start or has started. Let me say good evening to all of our folks listening to us this lovely, lovely Friday as we talk Liberia with one mindset that Liberia should prosper. Let's continue to make strides and move our dear country forward. This is the only place we have. Good evening and welcome. My name is Emmanuel Davis on this Friday edition of Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. Well, a couple of issues to talk about this evening. On the program, issues of today, and I know you don't want to miss this weekend's presentation of the show. Well, you can invite someone to listen as well. Usually what we do after discussing, we will give you the opportunity exclusively to make your inputs as well on the discussions that we have on this radio. So let me just inform you that today we were fortunate to have had a meeting with the political advisor at the U.S. Embassy, Kempo S. Wagner, and we were represented by our CEO, Sekou Sharif. We held a fruitful discussion, and we are due to return hopefully a week or two from now. So we just thought, to have informed the public. We stop it just right there as we go on. At about 6:30, we will go to speak with our correspondents on the program this evening. After speaking with our correspondents from across Africa, we will talk about some of the political issues taking place in Liberia, some of the issues that have to do with security matters, so concerning, so important to talk about because Liberia goes to election in October. So it is important that we flag these issues almost on a daily basis to give the public and also to help constructively, pressure our leaders and also the citizens of Liberia to govern the state properly as we go towards elections. So we still have this bad news. Our condolences. We here at Voice of Liberia, we want to extend our condolences to the bereaved family members of the late Chalu Musu, who was stabbed on multiple occasions during an armed robbery incident in Liberia-VOL there. So we want to use this time to say we are so sorry for your loss. We join our voices to the many voices saying sorry to the bereaved family. So we will talk about that this evening on the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. A couple of hours ago, Mayor Jefferson Tambakoji addressed the media, and he distanced himself from allegations made against him by Councillor Jerome Verdier. Jerome Verdier, we hope to play his voice if we have it, but accused Mayor Koji as the individual or the person who was behind the attack that led to the death of Councillor Gloria Musu Scott's niece during that what appears to be an armed robbery case on the 22nd of February 2023. So he refused the claims and said, this man, I think, is a witch hunt. And he doesn't know why the counselor will say that. But he's urging the Liberian government through the Ministry of Justice, the Liberian National Police, to take a stand against that. He also stated that the U.S. government has to step in this because people cannot keep using their soil to, level these kinds of allegations, grave allegations against sons and daughters of the soil, which is important. Because if you make such wide allegation without any tangible fact, without, concrete evidence adduced to say someone stole this pen and you don't have any video footage in just the space of 24 hours or so, you just come out. I mean, it speaks volume. It shows, in my mind, it shows that you have something against this young man. You think that this young man is growing politically. There could be reasons for those actions when people take them. So in my mind, there are some reasons behind it, but yet to be disclosed to the public. But my point is, if you make these wide allegations that have the ability, mind you made that allegation against Koji, that Koji was the one behind this attack that led to the death of, a bright young lady. This lady who was a senior student about to graduate from university. Making such allegation, this could prompt family members of the deceased to come against Koji. This has the ability to create chaos in a society. But I will come to the issue of the police. We have almost 2 hours to share with the public our thoughts from the side of the police, from the side of Councillor Gloria Musu Scott, and also Senator Prince Johnson proffering a piece of legislation for lawmakers, not only senators, but for lawmakers to carry firearms. For lawmakers to carry firearms. We will talk about all of those things. We have 2 good hours, 2 hours to talk, and you will have the opportunity as well, to call and talk. Remember this same Councillor Jerome Verdier was, campaigning for Koji to have been prosecuted. But then the ICC ruled out the prosecution of Koji. We all know that. But let me say a few things before we can make strides to speak with our international correspondents. The flip side of the discussion is Koji is a young man. Most often when things happen in the bailiwick of the country or the political landscape of our country, Koji's name will almost always pop up. So what comes to my mind, like the question I posed to him today, why always you? Why you are almost always targeted by people? When someone is killed somewhere, you will hear one political, person saying, Koji is the one who orchestrated this. Why always Koji? What have you really done to the extent that people hate you, that when any little thing happens, your name pops up? When any little thing happens, your name comes up. I think you have to explain that reason to the people. That's just the flip side of the coin. Why people will always, point finger at you. Why not maybe what you call the party chair? Why not other people at the level of your party? Why not other government officials? I think you have to answer these questions. Though we've asked you before and you've said to us, look, these allegations, I'm very far from these allegations. I have absolutely nothing to do with them. But I think the media and the Liberian people have to do justice and dig behind some of these things. Because even some of your own folks at the level of the Monrovia city government, when something happens to them, you are accused. I remember, say your driver that had accident and died, one of your drivers. I understand he was riding the motorbike, and then at night he collided with a truck or so, or hit the truck because it was dark, and then he died as a result of that. Fingers were pointed at you as well. So why only you? So coming back to Jerome Verdier, like I said, we have long time, 2 hours to talk about this. He's been there accusing you. Oh, Koji was a child soldier. He fought the war. Koji committed crimes against humanity. He did this, he did that. He needs to be prosecuted by the ICC. But yet, ICC came out and said, Koji is not part of any of your allegations. Today, you are here. And I want to find means now to see whether I can get the audio of the counselor. He's one of Liberia's, best. We can say that for a fact. But I don't know what's happening. There could be some bad blood between the two people. Reaching this far, this is a serious security matter that has to be investigated. A serious security matter that has to be investigated. I don't know whether the audio is ready now. Okay. So I will hold the audio for now and make attempts now to go and speak with our correspondents on the program. Then we will come and speak to the issues one by one. The press conference held by police, or their press release they issued, we will talk about it. The account of Councillor Gloria Musu's court, we will talk about it. And we will also talk about Senator Prince Johnson's bill that he proffered, and the Senate is still looking at it. We will also talk about that. We have lots and lots of information to share with the public this evening. So I know my producer is getting ready now for us to quickly go and speak with our correspondents on the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. Let's take this very short break and speak with our correspondents.
yetumule gege tukore pa yuruku wa tumule gogo sakiri kurumu wa suwa bere verian wa akie ama sakiri kurumu wa suwa bere verian wa akie abi yurugwen komara kora usi sakure wa namu abi yurugwen buku kora usi sakure wa namu abi yurugwen tetere ku isi ano wadiye abi yurugwen tetere ku isi ano wadiye anungriye o zibote anungriye wayo zibote. Gogo sakiri kurmu wa suwa bere veria wa aye gege sakiri kurmu wa suwa bere veria wa aye abi yurben komara kora usi sakure o anama abi yurben buku kora usi sakure o anama abi yurben tetere ku izi ano wadiye abi yurben tetere ku izi ano wadiye anungriye wazibote anungriye wayo zibote.
Okay, we now go across Liberia to speak with our correspondents this evening on issues of today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. The latest global WHO, UNFPA, and UNICEF report estimates for maternal mortality has updated the maternal mortality ratio. This report contains sobering news. In the first 5 years of the Sustainable Development Goals, maternal mortality barely declined, if at all. The situation is made worse for many communities by the impact of climate change and prolonged conflict. To tell us more about this development from Sierra Leone, we do have our correspondent on the line, John Whitfield. John, good evening.
Good evening, and thanks for having me.
Well, start by telling us the importance of such a report.
Well, we all know that childbirth.
Well, seems bad. John, can you hear me? Let's try to get him back. Let's try to reconnect. Okay, John.
Proper medical or proper health for citizens.
Hello, John.
So when you have surveys.
Hello, John. Yes, you're wearing on. So can you just?
Can you get me clear?
Yes. Can you just restate because you're wearing online.
All right. So like I did say, childbirth should be a time of life and not death, as we all know. And 2015, the report stated that the era of the Millennium Development Goal, the global maternity ratio fell by 33%. And more than half in 58 countries with the highest rates of maternal mortality. And so when surveys have been done, it can position countries to know how well they have been doing, not just in the health sector generally, but regards maternal mortality. So the report is so important to give us an insight to see how women are being treated, how service delivery is being rendered to them, and how they have been attended to, especially when they're within their pregnancy period.
Sierra Leone in the past has not been doing well when it comes to maternal mortality issues. Did the country make any improvements this time around?
Yes, the country did make improvement this time around. It will interest you that in the past we are recording about 717 deaths for every 100 live births. But now there has been a reduction from 717 now to about 414 now for every 100 live births. Well, you would argue that this is still something that needs to be done, which is true. But in terms of movement, as per the maternal mortality ratio, there has been great improvement because now when you do the mathematics, you find out that there is a huge number of lives that have been saved when that reduction has taken place from 717 to 414. So this is a plus for the nation because Sierra Leone had been described as one of the riskiest countries to even give birth in the world.
Despite this improvement, more needs to be done. Any improvements set up by government so far?
So what they have been doing is to see how best they can improve on peripheral health units within the country. In the past, we have people who have been giving birth at home because we have what we call traditional birth attendants. So these people were not trained in the past. Done is to see how best they could include them into the health structure by giving them some remuneration and encourage them not to deliver at homes, but ensure that they come to the hospitals and they also join with the PHU's units and also local nurses. Similarly, they've seen how best they could improve on beddings as well, and also trained and qualified nurses and doctors. Because the challenge we are facing again, you find out that probably during the process of labor, then you see there is no light and someone dies just because they couldn't give light. So people have been dying for things that are preventable, as even stated in the report. So, but some of these stepping stones being made by the government and the health sector are some of the improvements being made to address some of these challenges.
John, are we expecting to see a further reduction in deaths in the coming years in your country?
Statistically and as per ratio, if the methods being followed as WHO and UNFPA have all accorded, if we go by this particular trend, and let's say for every year there's a reduction, I am strongly of the opinion that there will be a very, very good improvement, and probably the 414 figures will drop down drastically.
What are the reactions of people in your country? Maybe you've spoken with some of the citizens in Sierra Leone. What are they saying to you?
So some of those we spoke to are those who usually visit the peripheral health units, especially lactating mothers. So for them, you expect them not to read, but as per interpretation of what has happened, they were happy about this. But most times you want to see it in practical. So for them, they are not satisfied because they want to see that this number reduces drastically.
Thank you so much for speaking with us this evening on Voice of Liberia, John.
Thank you.
John Whitfield is our correspondent in Sierra Leone, speaking of a report relative to maternal mortality. We will go to our next correspondent, who is already on the line from the Gambia. President Adama Barrow has finally appointed Mr. Muhammad B.S. Jallow as his new vice president with effect from the 24th of February 2023, a statement from the presidency has announced. Mr. Jallow's appointment as the country's number 2 person is in accordance with the provisions of sections 71 and 70 3 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia. To fill us in with more details from the Gambia, we do have Amadou Kante on the line. Good evening and thanks for joining us.
Good evening and thank you very much for having me as always.
Well, tell us, does the appointment of Mr. Jallo as vice president come as a surprise to the people, or this was expected?
Well, thank you very much. Well, I think the appointment of Mr. Jallo as Gambia's country's number 2 has really come as a surprise to many, I can tell you. Relatively since the passing of the country's former vice president sometime last month, Badr Diouf, there has been always expectation as to when the president, is going to appoint a new vice president or a successor. But apparently, no one expected that it is someone like Mr. Mohamed B.S. Jallo would be appointed as the vice president. So I can tell you, yes, this might have came as a surprise to many Gambians.
Why did it take so long before, appointing the vice president?
Well, this has been the question many Gambians has been asking, both home and abroad. Many have been asking why the president is waiting for such a long time to appoint a vice president since the demise of his former vice president. And apparently, many thought it is not ideal for the president to keep on waiting, without appointing a president. And this has been a concern in some quarters, in different, of course, different quarters in the country, from the citizenry themselves and, of course, to the civil society and even the political class has been raising questions. But, of course, there has not been any explanation given as to why the president was waiting for this long. So at some point, there has been rumor that he was going to appoint a president sometime last week or before that, in fact, but this was never announced. So it is today that few hours ago that news emerged that the president have finally decided to appoint Mr. Jallo as his number 2.
How popular is Jallo in the country?
Well, he's not of course, well-known person in the country, I can say. But of course, according to the president, Mr. Jallo has been a very experienced civil servant who, have worked from an unqualified teacher to the level of a permanent secretary for various ministries. And then also at some point he was the Secretary General and head of the civil service. But despite that, he's not that much well known, I can tell you. And, he also worked for the Senegal Gambia Secretariat. I understand he served as a deputy administrative secretary at that level. But with all that, many were probably hoping or looking forward to hoping to see a much more known person to the Gambian people would have been appointed a vice president. But yes, this is the president. He have the prerogative rights to appoint anybody he likes or he feels, would fit that post or position of the vice presidency. And in fact, okay. A few days after, or moments after the president former vice president dies, the president says it will be very difficult for him to have someone like the late Badr Diouf, and in fact, he would want to have a president who will have Gambia at heart, but not someone who will be eyeing his presidential seat. So I think that is probably might have been the main reason why it took such a long time before he finally appoints a vice president.
Amadou, how do you think the Gambian people will receive Mr. Jallo as the country's number 2 person?
Yeah, I know there will be contrasting reactions among Gambians. Yes, many were looking forward to the appointment of a vice president. And of course, they were calling for it to happen. Now that the president have, came up with this move or decided to appoint Mr. Jallo, I know there will be contrasting reactions for the simple fact that the man he is replacing has been somebody that has been hailed by the Gambian people for his exemplary leadership and for his love for country. Since Badra Diouf was appointed from a ministerial position to the position of a vice president, he have shown the Gambians why the president probably, see the need to appoint him in that position. From the moment he was appointed, during their swearing ceremony, he said to the ministers that it cannot be business as usual. You need to, take this, positions very seriously and work for the Gambian people. The narrative have to change, and such kind of messages really attracted a lot of interest from the Gambian people. So when he, passed away sometime, barely some months ago, a month ago, it really shocked Gambians. So I know the coming in of Mr. Jallo would give Gambians now another hope probably, but others would wait and see what is gonna, or how he is gonna start, his vice presidential appointment or position, and whether he is gonna be more or less the same like Badra Diouf, or probably would bring something different.
Have you been able to hear from the party of the president?
Well, relatively not, because this news, like I said, came as a surprise. It was just this afternoon that the presidency made the announcement. So there would be reactions, I know, but apparently today being Friday, it's just a half day here in the Gambia. Officially, most work have closed since around midday here in the Gambia. So, and it was around 2 p.m. This news was announced. So this is why probably there have not been so many reactions. But I know on the social media, Gambians home and abroad would be now discussing about this appointment and probably what to expect from Mr. Jallo. And probably others might do a comparison, especially those that know him as a person or who have worked with him, would start telling Gambians more about Mr. Jallo. And I know Gambians would those that don't know him much, or his track record, would now be saying, will he be the same like Badra Diouf? Because all Gambians would be saying, who would be that person? Who would be that lucky guy that would be replacing Badra Diouf? But whosoever is appointed would have a big task at hand to make sure that Gambians would rally behind him, and of course give him the same support maybe they had, or some admiration they had for Badra Diouf. So I know there will be reactions in the coming hours, days, weeks ahead. Now that Mr. Jallo has been appointed, and we all look forward to the swearing ceremony, and what message would he also tell Gambians on his appointment.
Thank you so much for filling us in from the Gambia.
Thank you very much for having me, and it's always a pleasure.
Amadou County is our correspondent in the Gambia. Well, we will go now to speak with our final correspondent on the program. When we come back, we will talk some of the issues in the corridors, politically, socially, and in fact, issues that have to do with politics in our dear country, Liberia. This is issues of today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. My name is Emmanuel. Thanking you for joining us. So we are trying to connect our final correspondent from Lesotho, Poloko Mokhili, to give us information from that place relative to health. Well, health matters a whole lot. You cannot do anything when you are not healthy. You have to be healthy before you go to work, before you eat, before you do the politics, all of those. So there is a health matter in Lesotho. I don't know whether Poloko is ready, but we are establishing contact with him right now to see whether we can get him on the line on issues of today on Voice of Liberia 104.1.
compte va on. Écoutez quoi son compte va on. Amawala ba you be one what to it, ye to it. Gege to put ba you go on what to it, what to it. Gogo sakiri kurumu wasu ambere verian, wa akie. Ama sakiri kurumu wasu ambere verian, wa akie. Abi yürüyen komana kora usi sakpere o anamı. Abi yürüyen buku kora usi sakpere o anamı. Abi yürüyen tetere kuisi ano wadiye. Abi yürüyen tetere kuisi ano wadiye. Anongriye, o zibote. Anongriye wayo, zibote.
Okay, many thanks for rejoining us. Let's now go on the line to speak with our final correspondent this evening on issues of today right here, VOL 104.1. Lesotho Medical Association, LMA, today announced that doctors will from March 1, 2023, stop working at night and on weekends, including public holidays. In a statement, LMA said this was because of a long period, which is 5 years. Doctors in the public sector had been working beyond ordinary hours without pay. To give us more details on this development, we now have Poloko Mokhili on the line. Good evening, Poloko.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me.
Is this the first time that such thing like this is happening in Lesotho?
No, this is not the first time. This is actually a continuous of their December 2022 struggle. Now they are more like putting pressure. In 2022, they also made a similar ultimatum saying that they will not go to work, but they continued going to work. So now they have, I think they have made a final decision that they will no longer go to work, because at that time they made a statement and continued going to work. So this is now putting pressure on the government.
But what is the government saying to them?
The government in December last year said that it would resolve their issue. However, that was not the case. Even this is where we are now here again, because they have relaunched their struggle. So the government only made a promise that it would resolve them in early January, but that has not happened. So I think this is why we are here today.
How many people are we speaking of, doctors? How many of them?
In Lesotho, we have, I think, less than 100 doctors, because most of them are unemployed. So we have less than 100 doctors in 10 districts. Because in some hospital, you'll find that there are 3 doctors, 5 doctors, a small number. One of the things that they also complaining about is that they are short-staffed and they need more doctors to be hired, so that hospitals can be resourced.
So your neighboring countries, are they coming to help you as well, considering your health sector?
No, not at all. The only help that I...
Well, we're trying to reconnect with him quickly to conclude. Lesotho far from here. Let's try to reconnect. Poloko Mokhili, where okay, he's back on the line.
Hello?
Yes, you were in speech. Please go ahead.
Okay, I was saying that the only help that maybe we may be getting from our neighboring country, which is South Africa, is when our hospitals do not have the required resources to help a hospital, and then the local patients have to be transferred to South Africa, but then the government has to fund that patient's hospital bill. The South Africa does not do it freely.
So, Poloko, give us a clear picture of the health system in Lesotho.
Thank you very much. Lesotho's health system is very poor for many years. Even during the budget speech, it has been one of the ministries that has been underfunded. We do not have adequate doctors. We do not have enough hospital. Our hospital, those that are there, they are under-resourced. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I made a report regarding our cancer situation that even cancer patients are treated in South Africa or in India. That is just to show how much under-resourced we are.
Thank you so much for speaking with us this evening on Voice of Liberia Issues of Today.
Thank you very much.
Poloko Mokhili is our correspondent in Lesotho. We hope and pray that the government of that country will resolve that matter because health is wealth. Well, we come back to Liberia, but let's take a breathe out. Okay. Well, this is VOL. We are back from our break, and also we're here after speaking with our correspondents, getting information from across Africa. You know, Lesotho, so far from here, a small country. I know they are getting assistance from South Africa and other countries. Well, you know, most often you ask the correspondents, it appears as though those countries are our sisters, you know, relative to the way things are. You talk about development, you say, how the health sector, people say it's highly challenging. You talk about education and say, the children still sitting on breaks. No qualified teacher. Even when you have the qualified instructors, you don't have money to pay them. So, I mean, too many similarities. Liberia and other countries. Most often, election coming, you hear people be disappearing, all kinds of things be happening. So, I mean, you people and Liberia, all with the same. We're doing the same old thing, yeah? You know, no difference. I think Africa will just be Africa with the exception of few other African countries. Because you even leave from you go Ghana, and the Ghana we talk about, they still have their own challenges as well. You go to Lesotho, the same thing. You go to the Gambia, I think, in fact, in some of those countries, the situations that are there, they are far worse as compared to Liberia. But let's stop it right there. We hope that things will change on the continent of Africa. Who can change that? We ourselves. We have to effectuate the change that we want. Even you bring all of the monies from the word here, you bring all of the blah, blah, blah. If our mindsets are not changed, trust me, nothing will happen. We will remain just as poor as we are, and we will not move forward. With that said, let's come to today's the 24th, yes, the 24th of February 2023. So this sad, very sad news occurred at about 10, 11, what's the time? Okay. Yes, 10 p.m. As early as that time, between 9 and 10 p.m., people believed to be robbers, armed robbers, invaded the home of former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. I want all of us to listen. This is my point I'm making. I will give you the chance to call. So they went there. Instead of going to do, because normally when armed robbers go to places, there is one objective that we all know. When armed robbers visit a home, they go there for properties. They go there for money. They go there for value things like gold chain, those good things. That's the main focus of robbers when they normally go to places. For instance, armed robbers will go to a bank. They look for the most valuable things that are there. Those assets, those are things to go for. But in this case, I don't know, it is not yet established whether the victim in question, Charlo Musu, the niece to the former Chief Justice, Councillor Gloria Musu Scott, whether she retaliated, whether she fought them, or she tried to resist something happening to her. So she was stabbed on multiple occasions that led to her untimely demise. Folks, maybe some of you don't know, Councillor Musu Scott served in various capacities in Liberia. She served as a senator. She also served as the chairperson of the National Elections Commission. And then lastly served as Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. 3 cardinal positions and other positions held. This lady in question. I'm bringing this up because I want to draw an analogy around everything we're talking. She had earlier alarmed on one of our sister stations, OKFM, that on 2 occasions, the 8th and 9th of this same month, she noticed strange movements at her home. People went to the place and they entered the place. So she got scared. She was frightened by that. She decided to alert the public, particularly the Liberia National Police and the Ministry of Justice. And in fact, by extension, the institution she served, the legislature. So she alarmed that I think there is a threat against my life. Please, I have come to say this. I'm not hiding it. Do something for me. Let's be proactive, folks. I don't have my own security. I can't provide for myself a security considering my status. In fact, this is not about status. Because even the ordinary man deserves security. The janitor, the wheelbarrow boy, the disadvantaged youth, to the extent that the guys who are abusing drugs, they need the full coverage, the full protection of national security. Because you know why? They are citizens of Liberia. They pay taxes either directly or indirectly. Yes. The food they buy to eat. Taxes are on those on those products, on those materials. So they pay taxes indirectly. So the very common person, the last person, deserves full coverage of security in this country. So the counselor alarmed, and we took it as one of the normal jokes. We took it as fun. We just listened to it. Oh, maybe the woman wants political relevance. Maybe she wants to spoil the government name. She's scared for nothing. All the kind of thing. And people will say, who's against you? Here is it today. Few days after, fast forward, the guys went at the home of the counselor. And I can say this was organized. It was well planned. Enter the home and stab someone to death. And also stabbed another person. Thank God. I think it was through the intervention of God, the next person didn't die. So the counselor had to fight her way, fight for her life to escape. And then she escaped, losing her knees, folks. The little girl is no more. She's supposed to be graduating from school. No more she is. And then, after the incident, the unfortunate incident, police is now acting reactive. This is my point, folks. The police is paid to serve the country, the citizens, to protect the people of the country, to make sure law and order in the state is provided. But when a case came to the police, or when the police was called, you listen to several accounts, when the No serious country will have the RG stay sitting there as RG. No. He should be out of that position. That means that he's incapable to run the police. Someone should die before you move in. Oh, but at the job you were paid for, the person even came crying in the public, sat down on radio and said, look, someone is hunting me. I feel threatened. I feel insecure. He said, oh, that Sheree, man, a bluff show she on. Oh, really? Are you kidding me? What kind of country is so? So now you send police there, they're standing there in post arm to kill what? To kill fly or mosquito? Who does that? I mean, who does that? Let's look at it. Who does that? I swear, if I was the one, telling no police to that place, no police will be there. Then Moses Scatton, you get Moses Scatton voice over that you should play for me. When it is ready, you just give me signal. Then the holding press conference, and we are investigating, blah, blah, blah. We will do this, we will do that. Really? As early as 9-10, someone gets killed. Someone gets killed. A promising young lady. Her soul is somewhere grieving because the Liberia National Police could not provide protection for her. Listen, we are in election times. I'm trying to bring up these points because Liberia is going to elections. There are critical things that have happened in the body politics of our country. We are going to elections, and this is a bad signal that we are sending out to our international partners. This is a terrible signal we're sending out to the outside world. As though we don't care. Of course we don't. Because if we care, we would have prevented that situation from happening. We would have been proactive. Fair enough? But we say that politics. This is bad. This is bad. If people like Councillor Gloria Musu Scott cannot be protected or secured, what's more about ordinary people? What's more about the man who leaves work at 7, 8 o'clock? And because he's not financially potent, he has to walk home. What becomes of the lady who's selling on a daily basis to send her children to school? Anything that goes wrong, that's just it. Because it's this woman like Councillor Gloria Musu Scott who served this country at various high positions. Her call could fall on deaf ears. What's more about people who don't even have $5 or $10, who can afford anything? And you get RG. You wear a uniform in RG. And Moses scattered and speaking book. We are investigating. We will make sure. Who cares about that? Your subject and verb agreement, you keep it to yourself, uncle. We are talking about life here. And you there, you talking, and this, you send police there. You still have RG sitting as RG at this time. That RG should not be over there. I strongly hold to the belief that he's very, very incapable to run the police. Yes. Because this was no secret. This is the same thing. I thought not to have spoken to that, but let me just say it in passing. This is the same thing that happened when Sekou Sharif was threatened by a foreign national. We wrote the police, we informed the police. What did they do? What did they do? Nothing. Then you call someone who wrote you to investigate a threat against his life. You call him at about 9 o'clock, 9:37 a.m., and inform him to come to you for a conference at 10 o'clock. Who does that in a civilized world? You say, okay, Segu, though we know, but you can come for as though you don't. Obviously, you don't care. But I can say this to you. What goes around comes around. If these things that are happening today, yes, I'll come to you. If these things that are happening today, to people you think that they are just, one-sided issues, no. This is a society, This is a society. There is a chain. The ball you throw one day will come back to you, obviously. You are in position, people crying, and you can't help. Let's stop playing, politics with national security. Politics with national security. This is unfair. What borders on security is very cardinal. Let's put aside our ego or our alignment to political institutions. That's why when President George Weah leaves power, either this year or the next 6 years, you will still have the LMP. You wouldn't have President Weah as president. He will be an ordinary citizen, but you will have the Liberia National Police. That is security. That's the security we're speaking to. It is important. It is important. So you just keep telling the public that we are here, we're not capable of handling the security. Mind you, we're going to elections. Our elections are just around the corners. Few months from now. We will be going to elections. Is this the way you are going to handle these security matters? At times, you call the police, and police will inform you. Hello, yes, Achu, you're talking to the police, but we not get gas. You have to buy gas. The same thing goes to the health sector. Someone is dying and they call you. You say the ambulance didn't get gas. Oh. The person has to buy 3-4 gallons of gas. Before, really? Are you kidding me, folks? So if I were the one, and my opinion is, carrying police order for me at the home of Councillor Scott makes no sense at the moment. She's already I lost someone. The person is no more. And then you send in police there to go and make it look like, that has been cosmetic. Make it look like police here. We're staying here, we'll protect this place. Where you find out people? What will happen? We are in election time. Many things have happened. Some of the things that should come to you should be, let's take for instance, because these are things that you can reflect on and say, but then I have to be more proactive. We talk about the IAA bus. We talk about the 3 children that died. The Simoses issue. You talk about Princess Cooper. You talk about the auditors, the 4 auditors. So when you see that these things are happening and citizens keep raising alarm, their alarm every day, it should speak to you that people are getting angry on a daily basis. So you have to be proactive. Mr. RG. For me, if I were the one, anytime they not RG again, yo. And you former RG. We'll be writing our stories now. We say the former RG of police, Colonel Patrick Sudwe, was fired or was dismissed because of his don't care posture that led to the death of an innocent kid. What you get to justify now? What you say? What you tell the people? Oh, you're sorry for the incident, blah, 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 blah. Let me stop it and come to the next issue. And this, I will tie it into, this entire armed robbery thing, this organized crime, where you go do armed robbery, you're supposed to steal money, but you go beyond, as though that kid was, hindering your progress of getting money, of getting resources, or the reason for which you went there, she was trying to serve as a blockade. So you had to remove her by killing her before you could go in to get what you went there for. Now let's come to Senator Prince Johnson. Senator Prince Johnson wrote a communication, and I'll come to Jeff Koji's issue today, his press conference, he and Councillor Verdier. Then I will open the phone lines for you to call. So, Senator Prince Johnson, remember, earlier, Senator Johnson said there were plans to have him assassinated, and he alleged that President Weah was the one behind it. So, he has written his colleagues at the legislature craving their indulgence to pass a law that will give exclusive right to lawmakers to carry firearm, to carry gun. So he wrote his colleagues. Some accepted, some didn't. And you could hear senators debating on the floor. Some are not in favor. Some are in favor of that. But now let me come to the main issue. For me, I think the message is good, but the messenger is the problem. The man who is bringing this good message has a bad character, a bad reputation in our society. This is a man who we all know killed a sitting president. This is a man who fought war and did all sorts of bad things in our country. Today, he's requesting his colleagues to pass a law that will allow him to carry a gun, either a pistol or some kind of long range, a bazooka being in hand. And to be moving with it freely. The message, in as much as it sounds good to a certain extent, for me, I think the messenger is the wrong person bringing the message. Senator Johnson is not the right person to push such idea. Though he had accused the president or the CDC government of planning to kill him because he left their camp, because he has stated that he's not supporting them, but his message is good, but he's not good enough to bring that message. Because you will be reminding the people of what he did in the past. And you know, once a general is always a general. You know, it's like maybe a criminal telling you to give him or her the key to the vault or the passcode to the vault that contains the money. Amen, say my man. Me see me so I can protect the place here. So just give me the key, you go home. Don't worry. Relax. You want sleep, you sleep. Give me the key, the money will be protected. That is scenario right here. Senator Johnson, who fought war and killed. People keep attesting to it. As soon as you talk about war crimes code, he starts to jitter. He's scared. The other time in Nimba County, one of the journalists who visited his school asked him, Mark McGonfia, my good friend, Mark McGonfia asked him, say, why are you always jittery when you hear of, war crimes code? He said, no, I'm not scared of war crimes code, blah, 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 blah. The old man is scared, very, very afraid of war crimes court. So this is the man asking his code. I know the guys at the legislature are smart people. Now, why I understand they even place his communication on AOB or something. Instead of it being one of the main agenda issues, they place it on AOB. Pro tem Arachie, you guys, the men are smart men. The man say, no. They kind of communication, we can make a serious agenda issue. That put it somewhere. Let's not give it relevance. So we park it somewhere, park in there. And we can't talk it, we just talk it some kind of way. Because Prince Johnson, K doing a player, we can't get him gone. And won't get the message, I'm going to get him gone. Get him gone for what? To protect himself. Because he feels that President Weah wants to kill him. Or President Weah say, my man, I think you're talking about serious thing. I think the people that are haunting you, that the people you kill, using the puppet. But the two people desecrated the sacredness of the puppet. President Weah stood there, he threw jabs. And Senator Johnson too say, if he said I won't get church, I go to my church too and tell my own. So anytime you go to a church, tell your own, I'll tell my own. But actually they desecrated the sacredness of the pulpit, President Weah and that of Senator Johnson. So this is the senator, the man who is alleged, because he's not been found guilty, is alleged of killing President Doe, on camera. And Mayor say you want gun. Are you serious about this? To give you gun? Maybe a registered gun. You could just fire someone. When the people ask you, they say, but my gun register, the person was trying to harm me. And you look at someone again, you fire them too. The kind of thing that you want to see happen. Senator, I don't think that won't happen. Maybe if you want security, you get national security. Why they get police here for? They will send police to protect you, but will not get you gun. Nobody will get you gun here. Who come and get you gun for what? Nobody. So, those are the first two issues. Do you have Moses Carter here? Please, yes, play for me Moses Carter. And then I'll go to the press conference. The conference held by Mayor Jefferson Tambakoji today at his MCC office. I will talk about it. Maybe if I have time, I will play an excerpt from there. Then I give you the time. So please, we have more than 1 hour to go. Don't worry. Just recharge your phone and call us. And to our viewers, yes, thank you so much for joining us. We had to go off abruptly because we experienced power outage, and this is becoming, a daily matter. So let's play. I didn't say grill. I didn't say Akara's grill. Okay, yes. Let's start from the beginning, please. Start from the beginning. Uncle, just press that play button 2 times. Go.
Days ago,
we were alerted of a radio interview as conducted by the...
Listen to the man. Please pause it. You know, the man knows English. He knows the English very well. Yeah, the man is subject and verb agree. He will say, we were alerted few days ago. You can't intellectualize security matter. You carry your grammar there. You're speaking grammar. I thought you're supposed to even be more remorseful. Your facial expression should speak to the people that you regret the situation. And you stand there, you want to intellectualize this kind of thing. Security matter. National security matter. Let's play that. Start from the beginning. Let's go from the beginning. Yes.
Days ago, we were alerted of a radio interview as conducted by the former Chief Justice on burglary attempts at her Liberia-VOL residence. On the basis of that, Liberia National Police Administration increased patrol in the area as a way of ensuring maximum security. Sadly, on yesterday, between 10 to 11 o'clock in the evening hours, we received information of an individual who attacked the home of the former Chief Justice, which led to a tussle between this individual and her daughter. Sadly, the daughter sustained injuries as a result of stabbing and was rushed to hospital and subsequently pronounced dead. And our commitment to ensuring that this investigation will be conducted to a logical conclusion. So as I speak to you members of the press, we have provided personal security to the former Chief Justice, and right now, as I speak to you, the home of the former Chief Justice, we have officers who are currently deployed at the home. We're speaking to persons of interest as I speak to you. I may not be specific as to the number of persons we're speaking to now, and ensuring that someone accounts for what happened last night. It's a sad incident. As a result of stabbing, I was rushed to hospital and subsequently pronounced dead. And our commitment to ensuring that this investigation will be conducted to a logical conclusion.
Okay, so investigation will be conducted to its logical conclusion. So they have provided now security. This is the cure measure they are using, not the preventive measure. Now, if you can prevent something, say we increased security presence in Broadville, district number 17, for people to have confidence that security is here, so they should not live in fear, they should not panic. But where was that security that you increased when someone was being stabbed? Where was the security? And you put book Bennett in security matter. Intellectualize this kind of discourse. Nana Atai Shabia, Moses. This is not an Atai Shab where you go and use all of your grammars. You hear me using grammar here today? I'm talking anything simple. Let all understand it. At about this time, for me, Colonel Patrick Sudwe will not be Inspector General of Police. At this time, he will be former. And then we find someone who can do the job. Someone very proactive. Every day matter comes to you, you say, we will investigate and we will bring it to its logical conclusion. What's logical about it? Logical conclusion. Can't bring something to logical conclusion where someone has already died. What's logical about that? Let me go to Koji and quickly open the phone lines for us to talk. But this is serious. We are going to elections. The citizens should have exclusive and explicit confidence in the security sector. This is one time when the citizens will have to believe, will have to trust their security. We can't be living in fear when we go into elections. We go to elections, we give our authorities, our power to the people that we elect. We tell them that we cannot go all from here, from various communities, to go and represent ourselves at the legislature. So we are giving you, that's why the presidency is powerful. That's why the legislature is also equally powerful. Because we delegate those people, we give them our powers to go and represent us. That's why the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia says power is inherent in the people. We have that power. So when we entrust you and say, go and represent our interest, you go and execute nothing but just what we say. Someone phone's disturbing here. So we give you that power to execute. Execute that power. Execute that power so that people don't continue living in fear in their own country. But we live in fear here. So where do we go to get protection? Where do we go? And you sit on there, you say, you RG. Mr. RG, but now, I think you're just supposed to even do the honorable thing. Just resign. But you know, Liberians here, we don't have moral. Yeah, so we don't have it. They can even catch you doing something very awkward, very wrong, very bad. You sit down, in fact, at Broad Street, you go, you start drinking your beer. You don't get time. Serious people with character will resign their post. Let me tell you, a reporter at BBC, just forgetting his name, he was one of the former famous talk show hosts at BBC. Just because he was just joking, he mocked at one celebrity, and the person took issue with it. What did he do? He resigned and said, I was just joking. But the person took it personal. So he left his fabulous job to save his face, to save his name, to save the name of his family. But for Africa, Liberia, no. A different thing. Let's stop playing politics with security. Today, Mayor Jefferson Tambakoji, the man a politician, and he's the mayor of the city of Monrovia. The man at the SG of the CDC, the Coalition for Democratic Change. Okay, we have the voice on that side, so we will cue it from there. So today, Mayor Koji held a news conference in response to Councillor Jerome Verdier. Councillor Jerome Verdier. And I'm trying to get that to see if I can play you few minutes of that statement. Maybe you never had the opportunity to have heard it. So we can go and get him trying to cue this. But yesterday, Koji held a news conference. And remember, it was Spoon FM that hosted the councillor. Let's see whether he's here.
The Rebus was a government operation
Okay.
And the police was told to stand down. Specifically, I don't know if we know who Jefferson Koji is. He was the one who organized and masterminded the attack on Justice Dora Mususkat. At the moment, we are trying to find out the purpose or the objective. It's not very clear yet. It will be personal or political because of her current political role. But the guy who entered the house is one Valley Taylor. Valley Taylor. He lives in the Brewerville area. He works at the Monrovia City Hall as the Deputy Chief of Operations for Monrovia City Hall Police. He's a former A2U officer and he's a former fighter of Ulimo Care. He did a lot of killing in Sino County. He's a very dangerous killer. He entered there and carried out the operation. When he entered the house, he had nothing on his feet, and he had no top, no shirt, no dress, no nothing. And he entered with short pants. The intention was to sodomize, that was the plan, to sodomize the justice. When he got in, the reaction of the child who tried to prevent him, the children who tried to prevent him from entering her private premises, he killed one and wounded the other. And when he got in as far as the justice, she had a pepper spray. And that was her last defense. She sprayed him a lot. And so his plans was aborted. He didn't succeed in doing what he wanted to do. The children got injured, and I think she was touched a little bit. But Jefferson Koji is the one who ordered that hit on Justice Dora Mususkat. And as we all have realized, killings have gone on. We have reports that we have timing when to release. The 3 missing boys, that one was directly done by President Weah himself. The killing of Banten Yinsua was done by agents of the very Huji. We have a full comprehensive report on that. And the killings go on and on. It's a sad state for our country. There's a lot that needs to be done. We hope that international community will come in and do what they have to do. But reports have been ready. Reports have been sent out of the country already. And I'm just going through the synopsis. Who, when, where. Most of the things we haven't found out is the objective. Except they are just killers who believe they have to kill. We are still investigating the motives and the objectives. We don't have much.
So,
but with respect to... Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Well, you listen to him. You listen to him. He was hosted by Spoon FM, Spoon Talk. You listen to the counselor. He was very clear. He said Jefferson Koji was the one who sent his deputy chief of operations of the Monrovia City Police at the MCC. His name is Valley Taylor. Former ATU officer, former fighter, who has killed more people, or he's done lots and lots of killings in Sino and other places. He described the dress code of this individual. I don't know him. I don't know him, absolutely. But he described the dress code of Valley Taylor, who is alleged to have perpetrated that crime. Listen, the police said they are speaking to people of interest. People of interest. Valley could be one of those of interest. Councillor Jerome Verdier could also be one of those people of interest, including, like you listened to him today, Jefferson Koji. He said he's ready to avail himself for questioning. So he could be one of the people of interest, including the private security. It is my understanding that 1 or 2 private securities were there when the incident took place. Those people should be people of interest that the police will speak to. I'm very sure the police is already doing that. But the counselor is in America using the American soil to speak to such a critical national issue. Now, I know some of the things that have happened in Liberia might have been planned abroad before the execution in Liberia. Who knows? Who knows whether Councillor Verdier is in America and then using that soil of our traditional Allah and then trying to feel tension in Liberia. Because with this kind of information that you are releasing to the public without any fact to the police. Look, if I have information on certain things, I don't even have to come public. It is good that we have, a law that protects whistleblowers. So there is no need to come public. I just go to the police. Since indeed I know and understand and believe that what I have, it is a concrete evidence to have someone prosecuted. No need to go public. Just walk to the authority, the requisite authority, and present your evidence. They talk to you, you leave, and you are protected. But using the American soil and then, trying to feel tension in the public, this is just one side of the discussion. To feel tension in the public, it is not good. Because someone could get angry. Someone could get, agitated or aggravated by now and start to find the home of Jefferson Koji or Valley Taylor. Quote unquote Valley Taylor, I don't know him. Because you have made this revelation that Koji is the one behind this particular armed robbery thing that led to the death of Musu, the senior student who's supposed to be graduating from university. This is a grave allegation. The police will have to work with our international partners to either invite Mr. Verdier or Councillor Verdier to come and give proof. Because he just came out not more than 24 hours or so with this. So how did he get the information? Who informed him? What footage, or not footage, but what photo did he see or video that clearly shows this young man or this former ATU officer in a pants, no slipper, no shirt, with the intention of going to sodomize the counselor? How did he get the evidence? How did he get to know that? These things should be produced or adduced for the law to take its course. It is important. Very, very, very important. And like he said, other reports are being compared. He's just speaking on the surface. He will come with more details. Yes, help the police. If Koji is found culpable, let him face the full weight of the law. But this is the same Koji that you told the RCC to have him prosecuted years back. But the RCC ruled that out. and said the young man didn't fight the war, but you said he fought the war. So now you are coming up with another allegation, a grave one, where the parents, the family members of the late Chalo Musu are grieving. This is still fresh, a fresh case. So, counselor, you have to please do it speedily for justice to be served. On the other hand, before we play Koji and then open the phone lines, on the other hand, Koji is a young man, a young political figure, growing in the political, in the political theater of our country. He is growing, that we know. But most often, when things happen, Koji name will always come up. My question to the young man is, Koji, why are you almost always the one who will be accused or fingers will be pointed at? The counselor also pointed a finger at you in other instances. And he also accused President George Weah of the three boys. I think one was 27, the other was 28, and another was 30. I remember covering that case for a long time. So he said that was orchestrated squarely by President Weah. But where are the facts? You know, when Louis Brown was Minister of Information, then Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, he said something. He said Liberia is a society where people will just speak out anyway and anyhow. They will just say anything. They accuse people with facts. Oh, the person did this. The person did that. The person is this. The person is that. And you ask the person who is making the accusation, where are the facts? He said, but the facts are there. The facts are there. Everyone talking a thing. Oh, but are facts there? That one are not fact. Facts are tangibles that can be used, that can be seen to convince a panel of jury, that can be used to convince people of high caliber, or maybe what you call them, people of high intellect, people who have sense of reasoning. You can, of course, use the evidence, but you can't say the man's tea. Who they beyond the man's tea? But the man's tea, what a fact now? What did you see the man's tea? Tell me how a man's tea the thing. What time is tea the thing? He said, but the facts are there. Where? He said, but everybody talking the thing. You call on a radio station, the people there, they talking it. Even you getting a test. But that is not a fact. You could be sued for that. And my plea to the American government, our international partners, our traditional ally, America, you have to at times investigate some of this information, because even in Liberia, people steal and come and use America as a safe haven. They are there. They deplete our covers, leave here, go to America. That's the place they are, because they've already gotten rich from Liberia. They get our resources from here, and they use your country as a safe haven. They sit there and say just anything, simply because their families are not here, simply because they don't intend coming to Liberia anymore. So they sit there and just say anything. My plea to you this evening, America, do not allow your soil to be used by people who have selfish motive, other selfish political motives, to plunge this country into any form of chaos. You have to. We trust you as our traditional ally. If these people are making some of these statements, it is only important and prudent enough for you to help and bring them back to Liberia to prove to our judicial system, that the things they are saying are true. If not, someone could sit in America in less than 30 minutes and create chaos in Liberia. And who will be the victims? We will be the victims. Because some of us have nowhere to go. This is our country. We did not choose to come here. We decided that, God decided that we come here. And so this is the place we will stay. This is the place we will live continuously till we die. So do not allow your soil be used as a ground to create chaos in Liberia. USA, I know you listen to us. Folks from there listen to us. And this is Voice of Liberia 104.1. People cannot just sit and just open their mouths wide. It could be true. Yes, if it is true, fine for the country. Fine. Beautiful for us. But not every day. People just sit and use the social media and make people to start hating each other and make people to start fighting simply because they are not either in government or they have some differences with some people here back in Liberia, or at times maybe they were fired, or maybe for some other reasons. They sit in America and say things that have the ability to create chaos in our society. My humble plea this evening, I continue to emphasize that, America, the U.S. Embassy is here. I know you guys monitor most of the talk shows in town. You have to do something about this. You have to do something about this. To extradite people, I know it's very simple. You have the power. You have that power. Liberia, Liberia is a small country. America, you look at what you call lion. Then we look like the bulldog. Whole day the bulldog be yelling. People say, a dog, a serious dog. But when the lion roars, the bulldog is no more. The bulldog escapes the scene. That's just what we are. A small country, Liberia. So America, please, this should not continue. Let's go to Jefferson Koji. But Koji, my question to you as a young man, who maybe you have political intention whatsoever. We know you are growing in the political space of the country. But my question to you, you are my friend. And most people know that. Koji, you are my friend. When I ask you, I don't ask you simple question. I can ask you the hard question. Why is it that your name is almost always in these things? I mean, what did you do wrong that people will hate you to the extent that even if you are far from country? The other time there was another incident where I'm trying to capture that, but Koji was not in country. And someone died or someone got killed. People started pointing fingers at Koji. But yes, the man wasn't in country. How did it happen? So people hate you to the extent that they don't want to see you survive, or they don't want to see you grow in politics, or maybe they're afraid of what is the case, Koji? You need to find time, to answer these questions. We will try our best as journalists, to go beyond some of these things and ask some of the hard questions. But again, when we ask, one of my colleagues and I, we were talking today, a guy was asking, but you have to dig deeper. You have to go over. Sekou Sharif was trying to dig deeper to find out certain information that he got on their show, he placed a call to someone, he texted someone, and the person didn't respond to the information. Another person who the matter doesn't concern whatsoever, the man go take phone and call to threaten the man, sorry. Take phone and call to threaten the man. So you threaten him. He said, don't do it. Because, I'm a rock. What I can do the right? Only make me famous. In fact, let me send you my picture. All this kind of stuff. So at times when you dig deeper, people come after you. And when people come after you, you run to your police. What does the police do? They don't call you. We say now, right here. Again, woman knows our briefing and war and go to the police station right here. Headquarters. They sat there without calling. After a week, then you call. You call 9:30, 9:37. You're going to be here by 10 o'clock. Very unserious people. Bunch of unserious people. If they think that some of your family members, you're coming for reassurance, they're coming for, serious, they're coming attach seriousness to it. But because you're not close to you, so you're not getting. If people tell you, say, I want, the beginning library can say, what? Is that Vla? Yeah, and you call it Vla. But we pay you with our money, taxpayers' money, and we put our flag on your shoulder. We give you our seal, the seal of the country. We give you the flag. You know what it means to be a carrier of the flag of a country? And you sit there, you play don't care posture. But anyway, let's play Koji quickly and open the phone lines.
When a life were lost in the process, I think you cannot want to politicize death, because it is a situation that none of us can replace. None of us has the ability, and especially when you lost a life in a very horrific manner, and you lost the life of a child. I don't think those are some of the circumstances you want to politicize. And I have come, that the council have called, because responding, and I wear two caps. I could have just let it be, because the truth is always the truth. No matter how the likes of Councillor Verdi and them have tried over the period of time, and they cannot manufacture darkness into light. It's not possible, because our workings are very clear in this country. You may disagree with us, the way we govern ourselves and the way we are passionate about our thoughts and our beliefs, but you cannot create any picture in which does not in any way represent us. And as a reason for going off and being a Christian, a faithful Christian, and the God we serve is bigger than the plot, than the imagination. Because I have suffered a lot in this field. But I say to you clearly, it is a path that I chose. I'm mentally stable. And it's sad, and I'm touched by the loss of life. If it was our normal political engagement, then we will respond appropriately. But I'm here to console the former Chief Justice. I know what it means, the stitching, the trauma. And that's why we encourage him, the investigation. Our resident. And our security apparatus, we think there's about time to engage our international friends. People should not far away from the country, because if anything erupts here, those who are engaged into it.
Okay, we will stop it right there. But today he categorically denied that and said he has nothing to do with that incident on today. So you listen to him. Folks, it's time to open the phone lines for you to call. Now, when you call, you go straight to the point. Do not attack anyone here, okay? Do not insult anyone. This is a public space. You have too many people listening to the show, right? So call me on 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907. Well, let me take this caller. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Lawrence.
Lawrence, you know in Johnsonville, Donnell. Because your line, oh my word. So sorry. Let's take a short break and our system here. Wow. 0770 907 907. 08 is 0907 907. Those are the numbers to call. Wow. Let's take a very short break, and we will take your calls tonight on the program. You have a long time to participate, so don't worry. And thank you for being patient. You know, I talk for some long time too, eh? Yeah.
Hey,
Well, we had to take that short technical break to be right back. Now you can call us on 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir, you're live. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I remain Peter McFarlane, the civilized basketball calling for district number 9 most of the country.
Peter, you have to go ahead. You have to go ahead. Too many people calling.
All right, thank you. Proper defender for shot. You see, some of us will not pray and not be happy for our citizens to lose their lives and be jubilating. We also in the process of mourning for the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, especially the loss of our daughter. But for the one we're hearing that the best ever mayor of the Republic of Liberia, especially the Senate mayor of most of the country, of Morovia, to be accused, some of us, asking for tomorrow to Sunday, I'll be watching a meeting that will be going to the American embassy to tell the American embassy or the American people that for the ancestor against the mayor is diabolical, and myopic, it don't have no iota or two.
Thank you so much. We take another caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Secretary. Good evening to the peace-loving people of the Republic of Liberia.
This is Emmanuel Davis.
Okay, good. Sorry for the inconvenience. Emmanuel Davis, good evening to you, dear. This is Alfonso A. Kamal calling from the district number 10 to be precise to a former community.
Go ahead, Chief.
Let me proceed straight to the issue of discussion this great evening. If we are discussing things, I think we will sort of let us be sentimental in our analysis. The reason people always say that Jefferson Koji is a problem of this country because Jefferson Koji proved himself. Every instance in this country, Jefferson Koji will be flat into it. He almost like he is the president of this country. Because everything happened, he is the one who caused the problem. Then in question, let's say,
Mususka.
Yeah. The woman was targeted before in the past and scheme and make a pronouncement to this country, to the Liberian government. They did not say nothing serious about it. And today she has lost her daughter. So, and the same people who are causing the problem in this country, we know that they are saying that people will not be certain, they will not be personal. We know the doer of this act, they are Jefferson Koji. Jefferson Koji proved himself that he is the president, he is the one that the goes through in the diabo, so we can be the voter for.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll take another caller. Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, you're live.
Yeah, thank you. I'm John B. Moba.
Go ahead.
I come from district number 7.
Yes, sir. Go ahead quickly.
Yeah, I like your analysis. I like the way you speak truth to power when you are a journalist. Look, why wouldn't you alone in the government of Koji? Your name will always be in every other ugly beast. Why? Even when Koji is that year, so everybody hates you. People that hate you to the full extent. Even when bad things happen, they will say that Koji need to put himself down. No, Koji cannot be careful. It will not be good for him because he's a very young guy. Let him be careful of his name.
Okay.
When Koji is careful of his name, when Koji is not careful, it's bad.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Good evening, Emmanuel.
Yes, sir. DJ Lomas.
Thank you for your recognition, my brother.
Go ahead, Chief.
You know, when you got a bad child in the community, if you don't take care of that child to put that child under control, even when something happens in the next community, when you just pass, at the end of the day, somebody will mention his name.
What does that mean?
Thank you. You saw the protest, save this country protest with the LU students. At the end of the day, the CDC, I know how to Council of Petra, on the recording, they say, yeah, Honorable Koji, your work has been done, and thank you for protecting us. On the other side, Koji said he would defend the country with sweat and blood. Even when the children went for that, I mean, when the women went, also the children were being raped.
He may have said that. He may have said that in a context to say you would defend the country with your sweat and blood. It could be done positively.
That protest that the women had, that the children being raped, Koji was inside again. Look, Koji is a young fellow. For me, I know that this brother is a good brother. But sometimes the people we see with Koji, my brother, myself, I have seen them around. These guys are not good. Some of them are not good. They are former fighters, and some of them they are wicked people. So if you got people that are around you, even if you don't say anything, just for my example, the last time or generally went opposite Koji was parked a car across the road. That generally was brutalized. Not even near him.
But it wasn't Koji. They're not Koji get it auto. That one.
Yeah, but man. At the end of the day, the man then should be suspended or this one. And the last time he operated, man, I don't know what he did again. He knew what anything. Koji had to suspend him for some time. So this thing here, what we see here, Koji must just take time with himself. For me, I'll let for anything that pertaining to death.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. Remember, I spoke about other issues as well, not just about what you call him. Mayor Koji. Well, I talked about the police issue, how they handle this matter. For me, at about this time, Colonel Patrick Sudu is not an RG again. And I'll fire him. Good evening.
Good evening, man. I'm back on the line.
Okay, Lawrence, thank God you are back on the line. Go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you for your analysis. No, my concern is about this. Our brother called Jerosin Koji.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of the killing, secret killing in this country, Mr. Koji, man, I am largely associated with them. And it leaves us with a lot of questions in mind. I mean, there are a lot of people in the government around Mr. Weir. Why is it all the killing Mr. Koji is always in the killing? Is there something about Mr. Koji and killing, and secret killing? Because, for example, like the Council of Radio said, if you look at the PCC, as far as we're concerned, the Senate police are not been known for carrying firearms. It was a very Jerosin Koji man who came and tell the Senate police the different thing. Zero got firearms.
Do they have firearms?
Of course, several of them in the street with firearms on their side. They carry those short bomb pistols and things.
I think 1 minute, please. I covered the Monrovia city government. There are 2 people there I know that carry firearm. One is the director, and another is the deputy director. A huge guy. I'm forgetting his name. They are the 2 people that carry firearms. And the act that created the city government calls for that. So those are the only 2 people I've seen with firearms there.
Amen. For me, I've seen a lot of them with firearms. I can tell you for free. But here's the thing, right? Somebody says, oh, Council of Radio. I'm going to Council of Radio express himself, right? The man said, I mean, what he said is he carrying the code in that evidence to show. So, I mean, and the code said, in Yasu, the Council of Fire, I think that's the proceeding.
I think he said that.
Even you guys email or using the U.S. using the U.S. soil to speak. The U.S. government does respect freedom of expression.
Oh, sorry. Lawrence, a lot of your money, Finio. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. You're live. Go ahead.
Well, I'm Franco T. calling from Studio Community. You know, it's very much disgusting to know that Councillor Badia, who is a liquor mind, who's supposed to be providing guidance and direction for the Liberian people, will make mockery of the kind of a horrible situation that before the Chief Justice. However, my recommendation is that their own body should be invited. In fact, we have an insight on this situation.
Of course.
To come and provide clarity to the Liberian people.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. He should be invited. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You are live.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel Regis and join the conversation from Upper Carwell.
Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks very much. And you see, we sit in Liberia, things that we overlook. things that we take to be play. At the end of the day, when you reach certain place, then we will sit down and say, oh, we will get it. You know that, bro, man, when things bad not happen, they always take it to be play.
Okay.
For us to sit down in Liberia, and we get few group of people in America that inciting violence in our country, and we sit here and say, oh, yeah, everything is well because we want to play politics. Look, just imagine, you know, the statement of that body man made. In case that woman family or someone arrogant family or other thing that decide to move on Koji and try to look for him all over and Koji and people do say it can't happen. You know what you be talking about over here? And we get people sit here, our young brother who don't even understand anything. They see nothing happening in Liberia. We get all the people who want to school to know better.
I think that goes to Lawrence, because Lawrence was about to speak to that before his phone went off or so.
Yeah. So we set in Liberia. In fact, we talk about Liberia. We don't have enough manpower. The police, there are not many. The AFL, there are not many. DA, there are not many. We set in Liberia. We allow things to slip up our hand because
when you sit on our side, you can't say. The man doing you say America supports freedom of speech. What you call freedom of speech to create chaos?
Yeah, Vodia is a lawyer. If Vodia think you get anything against Koji, the best thing you need to do is to go to the American embassy. But we will assemble the American embassy very peaceful, and we will leave Vodia complaint. Because we want no problem in Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Another caller on the line. The lines are hot. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, sir. You are live.
Yeah, I'm Jisu Evans Sako, and I'm joining from Racing Valley.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the reason why all of the time when something happened, what happened to the former Justice Minister House, the people always accuse Jefferson Koji is because they hate him because he loved the president.
Okay.
He loved the president agenda.
All right.
And that is why they hate him. But I can assure the public that Jefferson Koji is a peaceful man.
Okay.
He is not a violent man. Violence is never associated with him.
All right.
And it is with our government and with our president. Our president is a peaceful man, but the opposition will use this false tactic because they have no direction. They will try to make the public to feel like we are a group of people that have issues that have to do a war. No. Look at our government. But you see, the Liberian people will know the reality when time comes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Another call on the line. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for the show. This is Isaac David. I call you from Conway.
Go ahead, Chief.
Let me register my deepest condolence to Madam Scott for the impeccable loss of her daughter.
Okay.
But you see, people are blaming Koji on the issue because the city corporation looked like a military zone.
How?
The way he put police, the way he put people around him, and all of those guys you see there, many of them are ex-combatants that have committed heinous crime in this country. How can it be that people will not accuse him? So he needs to disengage. The city corporation is not a political zone for militant association or militant group.
But is it? Let me
in that place.
Let me also ask you. Hello.
Yeah.
Let me also ask you this question. Is it also fair to the young man for people to almost always be accusing him with no fact? Absolutely.
Well, you see, it's not fair. Okay. But there must be some truth because there is a saying in Liberia where there is smoke, there is always fire.
Some kind of fire there.
Apparently, Jerome Brothers might have heard something or might have seen because you said the person who entered Mrs. Scott's house, he has the identity of this man and knowing the identity and the things he was wearing.
That's the reason we want for Councillor Jerome Verdier to come to Liberia and adduce the evidence for prosecution.
That's good. He's a lawyer. He's a seasoned lawyer, not just a lawyer, but a seasoned lawyer that sits in America and perhaps will have some first-hand information more than you and myself in this country.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, and you as a journalist, I have conducted an interview with the mayor, know how the Monrovia City Police look, the city corporation look like. It's completely a military zone. But sometimes people don't even have access to seeing the city mayor.
Thank you so much. For me, I don't know that one though, because I can walk water freely anytime. Good evening.
Good evening to you. For the second time around, this is the council here come out.
You have to do that in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I want to. I'm forming the opportunity to speak on the issue of Councillor Jiru Warren analysis relating to Jeopardy coaching. I forget to mention on that. So let me strictly proceed to this issue. This Councillor Jiru Warren is a renowned councillor in the world. People know him very well. The experience has speak for him for his capacity in serving as councillor. So this may when I go on national platform like this, like the voice of like the one connected all over the world, and come up with issue related to so many characters that were no sufficient evidence or facts to prove. This man is a reputable man. He has all evidences to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Jeopardy Coaching is the door of the act, secret killings that go on in our country. And this man, we all hear from the local country. He is my uncle, traditionally, I'm telling you, he's a busy man, but traditionally, he is not portrayed well as a young person. And he is really bad, and it's bad. And if you not be careful, and listen to this, it will be very bad. We will resist.
Hey, 1 minute. Okay, I know you are still on the line, but listen to me 1 minute. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening, Emmanuel.
I know you just stated that this is a respected councilman or councillor who cannot just speak without facts.
Exactly.
But let me just take you back to 2021, let's say 2019, 2020. When he went to the U.S. and started saying that Kochi fought war, he killed people, he did this, he did that. So he wanted for Kochi to have been indicted by the RCC. But the RCC, in response to that, says, no, we don't have anything against this man. There is no record whatsoever. So that was the first one that failed. So why do you think this time around he has a fact? Because he said something first that didn't work. And this time around, why do you think it is factual?
Mr. Davis, do not say that the man said something over the pastor, it did not work. And what this is the government who deliberately refuse to set a committee to investigate. And no investigation committee set up to prosecute the issue.
Okay.
Because they knew the guy of the eye.
Okay. Thank you so much. But remember, this is the same Koji. I'm trying to I'm trying to strike a balance here. This is the same Koji who too many people said he couldn't go to the USA. They said the man can't travel to America because he fought war. In fact, he was Charles Sawyer. He used to be beyond Chucky Taylor. And Chucky has been prosecuted. He's serving his jail terms in America. So many people said the man fought the war. He used to be with Chucky. Chucky be doing this, and he used to be doing it own too. So they should prosecute him. So he will not go to America. But the man went to America. Washington invited him. He went to America on several occasions and stayed there for more than 2-3 weeks. So I don't know where, some of this information. That's the reason I asked him. But Koji, what have you done to the extent that maybe you've done something in the past and you need to reconcile with those people that you hurt in the past so that your name can be in the public almost always. But again, if you are saying something against someone, you should be able to prove the facts. Be able to convince people beyond all reasonable doubts that the person you are accusing actually committed that crime. Let's take another caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir, you're live. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Thank you, man. I'm Thomas M. Soma calling from the rejected community. The 15 West.
Go ahead. We're not talking about rejected community to know.
Oh, yeah. Give me the chair. I know someone can be a buyer. Let me come to the issue.
All right.
About Deputy Koti Abek by Justina Taylor before. I think you know this.
Go ahead.
Okay. And say Deputy Koti, when you're moving in Morovia, as young and rebel too, all the men are behind everyone they carry arms. We saw it equal where they said the police and the police are interacting with very effective threats. Now, what can you defend or Deputy Koti? When you were talking last year,
you say I'm defending the man?
You told to defend him as a journalist.
Oh, I'm defending the male chief. I'm striking balance here. Thank you.
Okay, let me go to the issue.
Quickly now, so other people get taught to.
Jefferson Coty, you will not be surprised to the Liberian people that Jefferson Coty has fought war, President has said it, and Jefferson Coty has fought along with Chogi Taylor. So don't back Jefferson Coty.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, you much better now. Go ahead.
Yes. Zanga Rawas.
Go ahead, Mr. Rawas.
Yeah, thank you very much for the show. But you know, the Jefferson Coty man, even though you say that people do not have fact against him, but every weekend in the country, you know, in name of nations, over there you are journalists. Okay, well, people can call your name one day say, oh, journalist Paul, you say, what are you doing here? Monrovia City Police, we were in the city. They can move this side, and way they're supposed to move. Invite police to call them mosquito police. But my deputy could carry, how to call them, serene brewing when you get all kinds of when I'm on the road with bossy. So why they must change everything in the country? What's the reason? Say the police, just say the police, say the mayor want to be the defense minister or maybe I don't really know. Yeah, my brother. So nothing that will happen. So now you can't be bagging. You can't bagging the people.
No. We're trying to balance the discussion. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How you doing?
This is Emmanuel. Go ahead, Chief.
Okay, Emmanuel. This is Randall.
You call from where, Buchanan?
New Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the show. You see, we've been following issues in Liberia, and that was case to case. On our footy, it's not the only government officials in Liberia.
Okay.
But for this time, such a thing happening in New Orleans, so much that on our footy, you have them doing well to the Liberian people. You have the law, and you one of the government, some government official. If they are a key force, I think you are under obligation to go to the court and prove yourself right.
Okay.
Then those are there accusing you that are taking in the dance, I think the court will mandate them to come in Liberia, and when they are found guilty, they will be prosecuted to clear the Liberian mind from what they can say against you. But for each time when they say this,
hello,
you have people. Hello, you have other people to go on radio and to say you can't help in the process. I think the record process is to follow the due process so that Liberian people can know that you went to court and you're not guilty.
Okay.
So
thank you so much. Another caller is on the line. Really? I replace you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Fine. I'm Abraham K. Dukley, and I call from Butcher Island.
Let's hear you, Mr. Dukley.
I want to appeal to the IG. I think this is my third call on the public media on this appeal, and I think I will take it as a campaign. The vacuum we are taking to election, the security vacuum, is too wide. There's a need to narrow that gap.
I think he's very incapable to do that.
I want to energize him to do that. He needs to do that.
Okay.
I'm not compelling him to do that. It's on obligation to do that.
Of course.
This gap should be narrow. There's a class on the standby, class 47. That class has been vetted already. You can take that class in. They need 10 months to complete their training. They need 10 months to complete their training. But we can use them 5 months at the academy when they complete portion of the training. They are brought out in the green. I think you have seen officers in the green in the past. Those officers are referred to as PPO. What do we mean? It means provisional police officer.
Okay.
While he's out there aiding the police in their legal function, he's been supervised by a unit there. That unit is called FTO, Field Training Officers. They are supervising those in the green. We can use them during the election period. Here we are far from the election where you need more men at a particular precinct to escort ballot boxes to take election magistrate. Then you have that kind of wide gap. Why can't we not send these men at the academy? Maybe in 5 months time bring them out at PPO to narrow the gap. Here we are. We all send a little place I call many times. and the police increase their patrol there.
Yeah.
Now, Moses increase there because the police now have two different units. We have the armless police and we have the armed police. Which one of them increase there? The people have security force sending their armless, and this time was being committed. So I'm appealing to them. I've called on the Minister of Justice. We understand our budget has an increment in it. They need to carry this people at the academy to train them now is paramount. We don't need to ask for men. Let me just tell you where the men are already standing by also, besides those from 47. President Weir, Dr. Weir, have made tremendous effort for the past 5 years paying YFE, and men have been graduating, men and women. He paid for public universities.
Quickly.
So the police requirements will have high school graduates and above. And we will have competent college graduates and high school graduates ready to go to the academy and narrow this gap. Why are we holding on to the funds? Maybe that's the reason why they don't want to go into that. Thank you for giving me the time.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Mr. Day?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
How are you, brother?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name from where you call?
Thank you. Thank you for the show. My name is Shaq Bigger Jr. and I join from Panama Jarvis Market.
Go ahead, Shaq.
First of all, I would like to start with Mr. Sharif Yusuf. Mr. David, you know the reason why the foreign national who threatened Mr. Sharif's life is not taking the matter serious?
Go ahead.
It is because of the way the in which the government and the national police is taking the issues to be. Because the national police are taking the issues to be. I think it is what you say.
Wow. Sorry, I had to take leave of you because your line was really terrible. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Emmanuel M. Tupachenio, and I'm joining you this evening from a resident in the community.
Okay.
Well, yeah, let me appreciate you for the platform. Quickly, my concern has to do with the statement made by Councillor Jerome Verdier on the phone talk yesterday. I listened to him as he leveled, the allegation against the city mayor, connecting him to so many other issues, and even connecting the president to the three missing boys. But this is it. Okay, and at the time they already called the show for preventing Liberians on the south to call in the call of the show, taking U.S. diaspora, call. But I think Councillor Jerome Verdier, as I studied his history, he served as the chairperson of the TRC, right? Okay. And we are concerned, Liberia is no longer the way it used to be, where there's no communication, where you can just sit there and convince, serial amount of young people or group of people, and they buy into it. This time around, we are all chasing education. When you say something, we want to authenticate what you say. I don't know where Councillor Jerome Verdier is coming from with this allegation, where the councillor has had a serious attack on her horse. 2 times now the terror led to the death of her daughter, and now you come in with this kind of statement. I would advise the councillor, if actually you have evidence, you should be able to adduce this evidence against Jefferson Koji. You can't sit and someone is dead, then you sit in America and you are levying allegation and you say we have connection. I know these people are councillor, and I know Councillor Jerome Verdier from where he's speaking from, because he's from Mr. Cummings' camp. So another thing again, as politicians, when you're speaking, people want to judge you. If you're just a neutral person coming up with this kind of allegation, maybe people want to back into it. But he's not a neutral person in the political sphere of Liberia, saying he lost his job in this country. We know the kind of steps he's been taking to fight this government, to cause sanction on this government. But then I'm not defending the mayor, because I'm not with the mayor exclusively, but I'm a physician. So I'm concerned with the life of Liberians. When you come and make such a, increase your statement, it should be back with evidence. But I listen to him saying he has evidence. So we are calling upon him to give this evidence to the Liberian National Police or to the U.S. government. Let it be able to say, I don't know who is doing what in this country. Okay. Because, my brother, you follow, because Jerome Verdier right here, when you connected the president to the three missing boys, it's not a joke. Even yes, why, in connected, put it to it. These are grave allegations, and we're not going to say that because you are a councillor and we believe you. He has to bring evidence. We want to see this to the logical conclusion. Thank you very much for a 40-minute time.
Thank you so much for calling. Good evening. This line is bad.
Yeah, my line is bad.
Let's take another caller. You can just shift a little and call back. Good evening.
How are you? How are you, brother? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Go ahead. What's your name?
I'm Aliva S. and I'm calling from Broadstreet, my brother.
Go ahead, Chief.
My brother, may God bless our nation and bless our country. Sorry to the family. Madam, sorry to her again. I will keep telling her sorry. From say yesterday up to now, I'm feeling so bad. That innocent child, teacher of the country. What Jack will go graduate? Say this, my brother. We can say the same person we are going power. And can you imagine this three person came on our own security? Says our bomber, person to young or they not speaking at that. My brother, no, now we didn't talk. We are now the photo of the clear. Our country, no, we for 7 years, 14-year war, we lose our parents and this some will get okay. So God will have what we do peace ambassador. No, God will commercial be one of the things that
Oh, okay. Sorry, your line is coming in broken, so we have to leave it as it is. We have another caller. Hello. 0770107. That's 907907. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm Shadra Jagan. I do join you from Bapalo County, Public City.
Go ahead, Shadra.
You know the problem about the Liberian people is straight to the point of the sorry to the recent days. The problem about Liberian people, we believe in opinions and facts. So someone just will come out with an opinion. So this person do this, the person do this. We believe in. We just come in this repetitions on it. I just want the council up there in America to come and prove evidence. When you have photos about the killing of this girl, so that everyone can see it in Liberia. That is my point tonight. Thank you for the time.
Thank you as well for calling. Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. This is Augustine T. William the Proud, a revolutionary son of Maryland County, and I do join Foundation number 10 to be specific.
Let's hear you.
My brother, let me join the many voices that said, at Jeremy Verdict, I will not call him counselor because a counselor will not just wake up and tell us. A counselor is somebody who is refined. A counselor is somebody who speaks with evidence. A counselor is somebody who speaks with logic. But when you wake up, when you compromise your counselorship to a politicianship, they will address you like a politician. But what hurt me is that to make fun out of our sister death. So, like I said, the power and revolution of American, not just from American, but I grew in Kaluga and I was in primary school, so I know the Muslim family good. So we are heard one or the other. But to see somebody making mockery out of it, and he's not alone. There's so many of them, even on social media. They will get everything to police service, even when the person when situation is painful, that we need to look at it, we need to adjust, we need to use as a country, we need to. No, there's nowhere in the world that government can stop crime. Government can only investigate crime. Nana, if I want to kill my girlfriend, you that incident, you don't know my intention. I said that crime is committed before government will get to know. The only thing government is to provide security and to have money. But equally so, in every part of the world, Nigeria to India, New Zealand, the one happening in India, all discuss is small. The one happening in India. But the fact matter we discuss that, but he should in our country, I want to be official our country to mail to go and go ahead. You know what that's the cause now? If only we mail put together and say, oh, they didn't happen to our sister, that go to study that innocent ball. You know what I care if you in the country? Whatever one of those days that politicians put on the board of limitation that the player are intention with a little education that we have gotten over the years, we utilize it and will not just behave like in the past. So that is that affected the America there. Yeah.
It's okay. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm a pastor. I'm happy to hear one of my district inhabitant brother who just left the land. Let me friend. We know Nigeria is stupid in this country. I'm sorry for the expression on social media. But everything that's going on in this country, even on 1 year old baby know it. We will criticize it because the government is incompetent to scale the affairs of the nation. There's making up body as a state governor. The man who took the oath 2018, January 22nd, that he mayor. So, are you kidding me? That is a way to proceed or to speak in that context? No, let's put political rest that case. We will defeat them massively, democratically, and constitutionally. Let it back.
Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, how you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, okay, I'm Thomas Freeman. I'm calling from Logan Town.
Let's hear you, Chief.
Yeah, one of the callers said what Councilor Fordia just accusing people and he doesn't have evidence. It is left up with the mayor to sue Councilor Fordia if he feels that he's been wrong.
Okay.
If Fordia can just go to court. So he has been accused of most of these killing and things like that. Okay, and his movement in our city today, I mean, in terms of fighting people. So he should try to exonerate himself, take the man to court. We have international system. If the man is wrong, wheresoever he is, they can send him back here. You see? But the killing going on, okay? The other woman that was beaten, or they had to carry her to County Hospital, Costa had to call people to save her, and all kind of bad things going on now. So, I mean, silent means consent. If he remains silent, we know that he's doing it. Okay, so let him exonerate himself. Let him go to the court.
All right.
Okay? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. We take few calls to go. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the topic on the discussion, and I want to say thank you to all Liberians. When you see in life, people like Jeru Brother, we shouldn't get a credence in this country. The Senate Mayor of the Republic of Liberia, especially the Senate Mayor of Monserrato and Monrovia, Jabazinta Makochi, some of us will not come on the radio to denigrate people who serve in the refugee trajectory of this country. I remain Peter McCauley, the civil ambassador, pro defender calling from District Number 9, Monserrato County. But some of us will not come on the show to say any Liberian who lost their lives to jubilate on that. No. But for the ancestor of Jerry Further to, speak against somebody who served in the Liberian people in the reform path of this country, like Jefferson Tamakochi, or false and diabolical allegations against him. And we'll be having a meeting tomorrow up to Sunday. That on Monday morning, we'll be assembling at the American Embassy, and you people as the journalists, they'll carry that loud and clear to the Liberian people, to the American people in the world at large, that what Freddie is saying is diabolical. That was in Tamakochi is not part of parcel of such a thing like that.
Okay.
And we'll make sure that Freddie Mokanda in Liberia.
Thank you so much. You can hold the line hostage. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Email. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Shek Biggie Jr. I joined from Banana Journalist Podcast.
Go ahead, Shek.
All right, then. As I was saying, the problem that them, my brother, about Mr. Sherry issues, they threaten his life. It's only from the police, our government. The government won't do anything about it, and the national police won't do anything about it. So it's making that foreign national to gain ground. If the government was doing something better about it, then you come to see the way that are going to behave. But the people are not taking Mr. Sherry very seriously. But I would like to go to the issues of Koji. Mr. Virgil, I listened to Mr. Virgil last night when you were on Spoon Talk. The man said if anything happened, he got evidence to it. So if that Democrat want to leave with Koji now to sue the man. And I do believe that if the man is sued, he will be able to provide evidence. And what I got me, let me just say this, Koji has been involved in so many of these things. In District 13, Koji was there almost any bad thing in a Democrat country ever. He called out a Democrat name, Koji name will be mentioned. So that's why the woman say, oh, Mr. Federer is supporting Koji name. That's probably me. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. We take two more to go home. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is Lawson Pine.
Okay.
and I call from District 8 in Masalalo. The allegation from Mr. Weber against our energetic mayor, I don't think, I will not say to you that Jerome Berger is telling the truth or he is lying. You know what I'm saying? But then equally so, I will not also say that Mayor Kochi is guilty or not guilty. But when you can retrospect, in District 13, the election that brought Papi Plumo to power against Corina Kwatoba, they may only solve it that time. You can remember. In District 15, the election that brought Abu Kamal to power against Kedia Yue, they may only also solve it. The issue of Jessica Taylor at Cali Junction, which was raped that time, the young man need also solve it. The issue of the guy
so what's your point?
My point here is, after all this allegation against him, this time around, the young man needs to exonerate himself in the court of our law in Liberia.
And that's what he's considering.
Yes, because the man is a young man, you have nowhere to go. Watch with people before you need any kind of manner. And there's no investigation. All right? So let you 4 days, you shouldn't leave it like that. The other cases, the one I just mentioned now.
Okay.
No one go behind, no one go after it. There's nothing done about that at that time. Just go down. So I people believe that yes, that indeed I doing.
Okay.
If you have gone forward with it and see the end of it, by this time, no matter soon with.
Okay.
No one speculate. So this time around, let me go to court and call them, go to court and see the end of this thing here.
Thank you so much. Let me take my last caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Your name from where you call, Chief?
Yeah, my name is Richard Barish. I call you from Riverview, opposite the Stephen Toko Estate at Double Bridge.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for the show tonight. I listened to everybody's opinion. But my issue here is, those of you guys who trying to defend Jefferson Koji, if you know very well that Jefferson Koji is not in a height, ask Jefferson Koji now to go to the Supreme Court and take a lawsuit.
Okay.
That would be the best thing. But until he does that, I want to believe 99.9% that those guys that accuse him had evidence of his act.
Okay.
There are a lot of killings that have taken place in this country. We are yet to see the government doing anything about it. And those things tells us that somebody within the government have a hand in it. So to deal with somebody in the circle, let me tell you, brother, somebody who is sleeping, when you knock them, they're quick to wake up. But one who is not sleeping, to wake them up is very hard. So somebody in this government that is causing the atrocity against our people, and we'll get to the person, we'll know them as time goes by.
Thank you.
So those of you who are supporting him, tell Jefferson Goji now to go to the court, and we will know whether the allegation is false or is reality. If it's reality, we know what next to take. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Time to go. Well, it's time to go home on this edition of the show. And of course, Issues of Today takes its usual weekend break on this Friday.